welcome everybody from Boma, Idaho, and beyond. Welcome to this golf discussion we're having today. The golf tournament. I cannot believe, everyone, how close it is. It is like 2 weeks from yesterday, which blows my mind apart that it's this close. It seems like it literally feels like we just got done with the last one yesterday.
Yep. It really does. This year,
yeah,
it was such a long, fun, hot.
It was real smoky last year. I remember.
Long day last year. It just sticks in your memory. Sometimes you're able to get through a great event and just forget it, and it's still stuck fresh in our memories. It was hot and smoky, right? And then the next day, nice breeze blew through and cleaned everything out. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so hot.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get started, I want everybody to just go around the horn. Let's go around the horn real quick. Introduce yourselves, your company. And we'll get into to talking about golf. So I'm going to start with you, Mitch, because you're top of my screen here.
Sounds good. I'm top of my screen too. Mitch Hinsey with Cutting Edge Services. I don't count birthdays anymore. I count Boma golf tournaments.
That's right.
It seems like my birthday is actually kind of close to it, about a month after. But yeah, that's how I'm like marking time now. I can't believe, like you guys, how quickly it's come around. And this will be a good one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go real quick. I'm Christian Heiner with WSP. We are a worldwide engineering firm. We have an office here in Boise, focusing on structural, MEP, building envelope engineering. Jana, please go.
I just muted myself because I have so many alarms going off. I'm sorry.
There's a lot happening. That very well could have been mine too. I don't know. I had the same thing.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jana with Boma, Idaho. I've been with Boma for a long time. I've done, 20 of these golf tournaments, I think. So that's how I'll mark time.
Yeah. She started doing these when she was 9 years old.
That's right. I'm happy to be here and happy to be talking about Boma Golf. We went out there yesterday to just walk the course and look through some things and figure out some stuff. And they're so willing to work with us out there. I'm so excited for us to get back at it.
That's awesome. Super excited. Sean, what's new in your world, man?
Yeah, so Sean Bucklew. I am now a real estate agent for Keller Williams. So looking forward to connecting with people that way instead of roofing. So still happy to provide you advice on roofing if you need it.
I'm sure.
Still know a lot about roofing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Perfect. Kelly, great to see you.
Morning, everyone. Kelly Parziali, Serve Pro, Boise, and looking forward to this year's tournament. Some fun, exciting stuff that we're happy to be helping out with. My birthday is the day after the tournament, Mitch, so I definitely am counting down shopping days.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let's get to it, man. Let's talk some golf.
Good. Yeah, let's talk about golf. First of all, I want to say that this year's tournament sold out in June.
Oh, man.
And I just, since I've done this so many times, I just have to say in past years, we have offered incentives for people to register before the end of August. Just an extra prize ticket or whatever for people to make sure they had their registration in at the end of August. We started getting calls in January for the tournament in September, and lots of calls. Not just, it was like every week I'd get a few more calls, like, "Hey, when's the golf tournament registration going to open up? When's it going to open up?" So as a committee, the committee decided, right, you guys, that Sean and Mitch are co-chairs of this committee. They decided that we were going to send this out to past sponsors and first, give them the opportunity to re-up their sponsorship, and then include a team with that. And we were almost sold out before that process ended. We have people that love to come back and do this. So talk about that, you guys, and what it was like to not even really open up registration.
It didn't take very long. It seems like, I remember there's always one or two right after the tournament, right, that are like, "Hey, we want to call our shot. We like to have the same area, or we want to make sure we have a team reserved." And I'm always kind of like, okay, so we start a new sort of spreadsheet tracker, a list somewhere, and we'll put somebody's name down. But there were a few of those, but it was at the first of the year. I think maybe when people start looking at maybe the marketing budget or using that, and for all intents and purposes, I would say we were probably maybe 60 to 70% filled before spring was over. It was amazing. And so it's kind of beginning to snowball a little bit, Sean, wouldn't you say? It's It's kind of becoming
Yeah.
its own event, and it's as far as like we're doing very little in the way of having to market and talk to people about the event to fill up. It seems like that's happening almost on its own. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Normally we have a pre-registration and we get maybe 10% in, and then a month later we're opening up another block, and it seems like every month we're opening up registration starting in April typically, and this year we didn't even get to that point. We opened the pre-registration to everybody who golfed last year, and we were booked out. So that was nice. That takes a lot of effort and work off of our plates when we have a head count already, when it's already booked up. It's on the other end, it's sad because we have 20 people on the back end that are like, hey, how can I get involved? How can I get in? And so we've been very creative in coming up with new ways to sponsor or new ways to get involved. And so this is going to be a very large tournament. I think Banbury was surprised. They were talking to us about other tournaments, and their largest ones were like 120 people, and we're going to be close to 150 people at this one. So it's going to be big. There's going to be a lot of people there, which is exciting from a vendor standpoint, just from a golfer standpoint, from a networking standpoint. There's a lot of people that we're going to meet and greet and hang out with some of our favorite people for BOMA.
And you know what, you guys, what's really cool about it also is every year it seems like there's a new batch of just participants. There's new names, and there's names that aren't familiar to us. There's firms that are looking to maybe set up a shop or come to the Treasure Valley or investing in it. And naturally, because of BOMA's footprint internationally, they'll look at that. And we've run into and made some friends and seen some members come on board every year with organizations like that. And that's cool to see, kind of refreshing of people and participants. And I think that's neat too. So not only is it become sort of it's really kind of come into its own, but it's refreshed every year. And I like that. I like that there's fresh air coming in every time.
Yeah. But at the same time, there still is kind of the usual suspects who have been around, who come to this thing religiously every year and have as long as I can remember. I mean, this is probably I bet this will be my 15th BOMA Idol Golf Tournament. And there's a good crew of folks that have been here for all of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right. But I do want to talk more about that. Like last year, we had Tamarack Grove Engineering come to us and say, hey, we really want to be involved in the tournament. What can we do? And so we created a quad sponsorship, right? And we had a couple of companies jump in, and and they really made it just a party in the middle, and where all those pathways come together. They made it a real, they made such an impression. There are seven sponsors that are going to be on the quad this year.
No, it's fantastic.
So it's going to be a party now that we have all these people. It's going to be great. They really started that. They're new members. Duncan's a new member over there. And so I felt like that was a good creative thing to come to us with, like, where can we set up? Yeah. What can we do? And we thought, well, let's just try this. And it worked.
Yeah. So, they brought music, they brought games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've had a couple of other creative things that have come on also, right? Like, do you want to hint about like the concierge?
Oh yeah. You know what? That was another one. Christian actually attended a golf tournament in another state and came back and said, hey, this was a cool sponsorship. Maybe somebody will want it. And then I had somebody like that day or the next day call me and say, hey, we want to do something. What can we do? And I said, well, I heard about this concierge sponsorship. So they're going to be branded up in their company brand. It's Paradigm, Cole Coba over there, branded up in their company garb, and they're going to be in the parking lot with a little, concierge tent, right? So a little station, but they're going to run and meet you at your car, maybe take your golf clubs for you, offer you a drink, whatever it is that they're going to be doing out there. It's going to be fun. And so that's going to be your first touch with our tournament is going to be in the parking lot this year. And we haven't done that before. So
I told Coba that if they're not all wearing tuxedos, they've missed an opportunity. So but it's going to be hot out. So we'll see if they really do that.
Company branded tuxedos? I don't know.
That's really cool.
I suggested cummerbunds with their logo on it.
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, yeah, that's going to be new, and we've got a great brand new company coming in as our driving range sponsor. We're going to open up the golf page and show you guys, but let's first talk about Kelly, something that we've been working on the past few weeks. This is something that we wanted to do a couple of years ago, right? And actually, we really wanted to do, and I did some legwork on it last year, and it just didn't quite come together. So when I mentioned it in a golf committee meeting, Kelly was like, "Hey, what's that? What's that now? Helicopter?
Did you say helicopter?
Did you say helicopter?" It took off. So let's talk about that, Kelly.
Yeah, definitely. Something fun and different. I mean, we can set up a booth and we can play games and we can play, cornhole or do whatever. But just something different and unique is fun for us too, because BOMA Golf Tournament is our favorite, but it's not the only golf tournament we do either. So it's kind of nice to have.
You say that
fresh.
to all the golf tournaments.
I know, I do. But it really is a good time. So this is just something so unique. I've never seen it happen. I know many people are just hyped and excited to see what this is going to entail, to have a helicopter hover over the course and drop all these golf balls out, and tying it into the charities is just a really great thing. We're happy to be, our co-sponsor of, some of the money, but also just the excitement around having a helicopter there. I think it's just, your tournament has grown so much. Why not just take it even to the next level and take it to the skies, literally?
That's right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the helicopter, we partnered up with Silver Hawk Aviation out of Caldwell, and they are coming in, and they are we've got 600 golf balls that are going to be dropped on the course onto a target on the 18th fairway. So we're going to release a video about that later today, and you'll see that, and have an opportunity to buy a golf ball and support a charity. So the ball that falls closest to the target obviously is the winner and wins cash prize. And then we got some other prizes too, but half of that pot is going to go to a couple of charities that we want to talk about. And one of those is LEAP, which is affordable housing options for people here in the Treasure Valley. We actually have a meeting with them. They want to come to the golf tournament. They're very, very just touched and humbled that our organization is thinking of them. And, when we met as a board, we threw out some of the possibilities of different charities that we could benefit, because this event has grown so big. And that was one of the ones that came in because as developers and building owners and managers and employers, our board was looking at it like, this charity offers the opportunity for people to be able to afford to live here and work here. So that was one that we really felt like was in line with our mission of supporting our commercial real estate professionals in our area. So that was sort of how that one came about. And then I called Kelly as our sponsor, and I said, "Hey, what charities are you involved in, and what can we do, and who is it?" So Kelly, talk about TIP.
Yeah, TIP is Trauma Intervention Program. And in my opinion, these volunteers are angels on earth. They go in and partner with police and fire and EMTs and basically show up during the person's worst day of their life. A lot of times they show up at suicides or sudden deaths, or a family member being notified of a car accident, or just tragedy. And they're volunteers. They go through very rigorous training to be able to sit with these people during grief and trauma and help them through it. And a lot of times they do it not just for a few hours, but days. They will sit with families. And so they're really, I feel like, angels. So Kimber Jenkins is the executive director, and they just don't get enough recognition, and any support that we can give to them just helps them show up to these families with stuffed animals for kiddos and, supplies that they would need during a devastating time.
Awesome. We're so happy to be a part of that, and so happy we get to meet Kimber and have him out there. This is going to be a spectacle for a really great cause, right? Right in the afternoon, we're inviting, and even if you're not involved in the BOMA Golf Tournament, you want to show up in the afternoon just to watch this happen.
Yeah.
The last time I called the golf course, they had never had one of these before. Since then, one of our members has now done one out there. So they all got to be a part of that and sort of see how it went. It was a much smaller event. So they're like, well, we think we could do it at this time. So we're still working on, but we think around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, somewhere between 2 and 3. So if you want to come out and just take a look, buy a golf ball, support charity, possibly win a cash prize. That would be incredible. We're so excited for that. So,
You know, the cool thing, I'm sorry, I got to jump in and just say, you know how busy your professional life is and your day-to-day life and your balance and everything. You know, at the end of a day or a week or month or a year, you look back and you go, have I had an impact other than just doing my job? And this is one of those ways where you can kind of get that, you know, that good feeling and maybe that affirmation to where, hey, in the midst of all the chaos and the busy of my life, at least I'm doing these things to try to be a good human being. I'm not saying your virtue signal, but that's important, right? Because you just get caught up in the whirlwind that is busy, that is just all the details of what you do. And so it's a good way to sort of like give back. And BOMA's always been really good about that, right? It's an easy way to help people kind of facilitate that. I think that's great, Kelly. Just hearing you talk about that really hits. I mean, that's important stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
We're so thankful for Serve Pro and for you guys willing to take a chance on us and a chance on this tournament and just be part of it.
We're excited, and somebody's going to get to go up in that helicopter, but it's not me.
Not it.
Well, at the last
Love it.
board meeting, Ted Isbell volunteered to do it.
Yeah.
I told him I'd
nice.
give him a cam, and I told him I'd give him a camera so he can record, you know, the perspective of the helicopter, and I'll be on the ground with another camera, recording it from the ground. So yeah, so putting that together will be super fun.
I
Yeah.
hope
I think
Ted's
everyone-
available for that
everyone will
because
have
I think
their
I'm
phone
on
out.
standby if he
You are.
doesn't go, which will be a fun experience.
He said he needed a backup because he might have something that day that can't.
Oh,
go.
no.
Sean's hoping
But
that
if I'm
Ted
not there, Sean-
We're
Fingers
his hands
crossed. I
shaking
mean, I
when he
want
said-
it all
is he
for
just
Ted,
is he
but-
just afraid? Were his
No.
hands shaking when he said that?
Sean, no screaming. We're going to listen to that camera that you take up there and see.
Yeah.
No, that'll be a lot of fun. Taking off out of Caldwell, going to Banbury Golf Course, doing the drop, and then flying back there. I think it'll be a great time for whoever it is that gets to go up in there. That's not me, and so we're so excited about that. So if you haven't had a chance to buy your golf ball, there's a link on our website. Go there, buy a bundle, and support a really great cause and possibly win a cash prize or two.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. We're so excited about that. Let's talk about real quick. Let's go around and just kind of talk about how in the time that we've been involved in it, Sean, you've been a little bit shorter of a time, obviously, than Mitch, and Christian's been a player and a sponsor on a hole and on the committee, and sort of our media sponsor guy for a while. Talk about the changes that have come in this golf tournament over the years and why we think it is where it is.
You know, like anything, it's not just one thing. It's the culmination of so many things. There are now, probably 15 years ago, when I probably went to the first one, I bet now we have 2 to 3 times as many sponsors, as many people that are going to be there, and that obviously is awesome. And that is, everything comes back to the people that are involved in my mind, and with an awesome golf committee, with an influx of a lot of new members who want to get involved. Just with, like anything, the word is out that it's a super fun tournament to be at. It's the who's who of the commercial real estate industry. If you're a part of it, you have to, it's one of those things where you kind of have to be there. If you're in the industry, you have to be there. And that's just what it's become. And that, like I said, it's so different from how it was. Because before it was, like any other golf tournament, it would probably be fun to go, but it wasn't a super priority for anybody. There weren't that many sponsors. There were a handful of hole sponsors, but not a ton, not like it is now, where there's people posted up on, every tee box, every green, half a dozen companies on the quad, which is going to get pretty rowdy, which will be super fun. But yeah, it's definitely transformed and just gotten so much bigger than it was.
Yeah.
For me, the tournament holds a near and dear place in my heart, not only because it's a fun thing, but I had 2 stints being involved with BOMA. One was a number of years, and then I had a sort of a career life change, and then I came back around into the industry I'm working in now. And when I joined BOMA again, this is, of course, going back like 7 years, but when I rejoined again, I thought, BOMA was wonderful kind of the first time that I was a member, but I think I was a little bit more passive, and I'd done some learning and some thinking about it. And I thought, how can I maximize? How can I make BOMA work for me? And this I share with people all the time, not just in BOMA, Idaho, but in our chapters across the United States. Literally, it's like, hey, Mitch, how do I make BOMA work, or how do I get the value out of it? And my message is always get involved. Like, go to every single event and start shaking hands and making friends. It's not like you join, pay your dues, and then somebody shows up with all these contacts, like for a supportive company. It's like, no, find a committee to join, make some friends, some chums, some mates, and then go and roll up your sleeves and like put in some equity. Like get on a committee and just jump in. And so I had that opportunity, and I'll tell you, not only is it rewarding for me to see the tournament come so far and kind of be, frankly, a part of that, but actually probably the largest and best business deal that I've been able to broker for the company I work for Cutting Edge came from a BOMA friend who then changed employers, moved his way up into the food chain, and with Washington Federal Bank, they have at the time they had nearly 200 branches. It was like, hey, Mitch, do you guys service this market? Do you service that market? And so in a professional sense, it was a huge deal for us. And so I always look at that and go, not only is it a wonderful event, but probably your single greatest success point that you could quantify came through a BOMA contact for me. So to me, that's proof, right? That the way to make BOMA work is find your niche, find your place. And maybe you won't find it right away, but don't give up and work on that and push on that, or get with the members of the board and just get involved. And it was a couple of years of putting in time. And sometimes it's a lot of time. But look, for me personally, it came back to reward that friend and equity and time that I put in spades. And so I could never complain about that. And so I love telling that story to people, that the way to make BOMA to work for you is to put in a little bit, and then you'll be rewarded as you go in. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you see members come in and they're not 100% sure how to just like jump in at the deep end, but that's literally what you do. Start making friends and put yourself in a place where you're have to interact with people. And the golf tournament's been great for me because I interact with so many people on the list, and I get to reach out and make sure that they're ready with their sponsorship or with their team players or with a giveaway that they have. And so there's a natural reason for me to be in contact with these people. And so it's made the networking part of it is pretty easy and pretty functional. I love that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've said it, dozens of times that the BOMA golf tournament is one of my favorite, like, top 5 days of the entire year. It is one of my favorite things. And Mitch, to your point, I have the same conversation with people all the time. Folks are, thinking about joining BOMA or wondering if it's, right for their company, and they don't know if they have time to, commit to get involved, but they want to join. And I always tell them, hey, well, BOMA will take your money. Absolutely. If you want to join and not come to anything, we'll take your money. We'll put you in the directory, but it's not going to really do a whole lot for you. The magic sauce of it is joining, coming to everything. Put every event on your calendar. If it's a lunch program that, doesn't super make sense for you or your company, come anyway. You'll learn something and you're going to meet a bunch of cool people.
Yep. I totally agree. It's so awesome, you guys, to hear you guys talk about this, because the culture in BOMA has changed a bit, right? From the time that we first became involved in it. I'm thinking a long time ago. I mean, I was by far, when I first joined BOMA as a member, by far the youngest person. And
probably by 30 years. Seriously, because I had a very similar, and I've told the story too, Jen. I had a very similar experience.
Yeah, so it's changed, and the culture is now, just like Mitch said, people are either asking, "Hey, what can I do to be involved?
Right?
What committee can you put me on? Who, when's the meeting? When is a committee meeting so that I can be involved in this?" We launched 2 new committees this year because of that, which has been the member engagement committee. Has just taken off. They've hosted our member orientations and done other things for us. They did the cornhole tournament, which was awesome. We are also launching the end of September our diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. We have a lot of things going on in BOMA, and it's because people are coming and saying, "Hey, I want to be involved." And so we're finding places for them. We're doing an emergency preparedness event in September. We have a lot of things coming up. The golf tournament is by far, that one and the symposium are our biggest events of the year. They take the most bandwidth, right, to put together, and so we can do it without our committees. So, Sean, last year you took on the big, huge task because we had to do tee times.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
And coordinate that.
Glad we're on a shotgun start this year. I feel like I've had so much extra time to do.
Right.
Stuff. So, tee times were woo, that was a lot of effort. I appreciate everybody who worked with me. I think I ended up trading my own personal tea time about 5 times to accommodate people. So tea times were interesting. It was a good thing for BOMA that we were able to do the tournament, and even we appreciate Banbury for allowing us to do it in that capacity. COVID definitely threw a lot of businesses through a loop, and it was all about flexibility, right? How can we figure out how to make this happen? And tea times were one of those ways. It was a lot of work. There's a ton of calls, tons of emails, tons of just time in general. I would say it took probably double the amount of time to do that than Shotgun start. Shotgun's easy. We sent out an email, hey, we need your email. We're all starting at this time. From a vendor standpoint, I think it's a little easier too, because it's a shorter day, right? Kelly's nodding. It's a much shorter day. I know I've been on the golf course in both the golfer capacity and the vendor capacity, and BOMA Golf, when it's a tea time start, becomes a 8-hour, 10-hour day. That's tough on our vendors. So kudos to them for, sitting out there with hopefully they had some shade. I know we had a couple vendors that didn't, and
it's a real commitment. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. If you're coming out, definitely bring get your company to pick up a shade tent for you. This year, because we're doing tea time, it'll end a little sooner, but by 2:00 it's getting hot.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
definitely recommend people bring that.
Let's talk about logistics here. So for our tournament, sponsor vendor setup, because we got a lot of people in that category, we are doing that at 7. Well, between 6:30 and 7, show up, be set up, and then 7:30 registration opens. That'll probably take an hour to get everybody registered, so show up at 7:30.
Big thing, Jana, we will have food for you. It will be there, so don't stop for breakfast.
Okay, good.
Come on
All about that.
Bright and early.
Thank you. So we'll all be there, and then right after we get everybody checked in, we're gonna push for a start between 8:30 and 9. So they have us teeing off at 9:00 as our shotgun start time, but we're always bugging them to get on there sooner. And they even talked about doing some stuff the night before so that we could do that and get out there sooner. We've got professionals who want to wrap up their day and then still go back to work, or they have different meetings in the afternoon. So we are aware of that, and your networking on the course is so important. So we want to respect your time.
But don't do that. Just plan on getting there early. Plan on staying late. Like don't try to go back to work, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Instead, enjoy life.
It's a holiday. We should get the governor to try to declare BOMA Golf Day a state holiday. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that.
Okay, you get on that, Christian. Thank you for doing that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about it's only a couple of weeks away, right? 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah.
So what are you guys working on?
Well, I'm looking at the sponsor page for everybody watching.
Oh, Christian, pull that up. Yeah, let's pull it up.
Yeah, here, let me share my screen. We can go through this.
It's so awesome, you guys. We're ordering signs. I mean, this is the time when all the stuff is really coming together, right? Oh, yeah. Hi, Cody. Hi, Cole.
There's
Poe.
There's Poe. Yep. Yeah. So go to BOMAidaho.org/golf. It'll get you there, or you can just hover over annual events here and click on the golf page. There's not a lot left here under the registration.
There are a couple of missions.
There are. And you guys aren't going to believe this. Literally about 3 minutes ago, I got a text from a dude asking if he could get a team in the tournament.
Yeah.
I got one yesterday.
We have a wait list of about 20 people for teams right now.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm surprised it's not longer. Yeah, I'm just going to ghost this dude. I'm not even going to respond.
Tell him to sponsor.
Right?
Come join the quad sponsorship.
Exactly. Yeah. But so we've got some good sponsors for food and bev. Breakfast is covered. Sundance is doing they're the fun sponsor, which is very fitting for our favorite Sundance folks, being the fun sponsor of that. Lunch, we've got 2 awesome lunch sponsors, which is super cool.
Hey, if you want to sponsor lunch, though, we could still use you. We went and met with catering yesterday, and like everything, prices have gone up. So if you're interested in being out there during lunch and networking with everybody and sponsoring the lunch, it's not on the website, I don't think, but we'll make it happen for you.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be great.
Absolutely. Our friends at Total System Services have done this, given away a set of custom fitted irons every single year as long as I can remember.
As long as I can remember too.
Yeah, so,
This is
such a cool
awesome.
thing to do, and
This
they're
is
so and they're not like that's such a cool thing, and they're just all nonchalant about it. I guess just kind of what we do. They're so cool about it. They're those guys are really really cool.
So it's the entire bag of irons. Like people think it's like a little set. It is an entire bag of irons, and then after that, they set you up to go get them fitted to you.
Yep.
So it's a big deal. So if you are registered for the tournament, you are registered for this.
That's close to $2,000 right there.
I was just gonna say, yeah, exactly.
Just went with a buddy to buy some clubs, and that's.
Don't come to the Boma Golf Tournament.
Golf clubs are expensive, yeah. So that's a super cool prize. Kind of like we talked about before, our friends at Paradigm are doing the parking lot concierge. So so you get there, they're going to help you get your clubs, get you a beverage, help you, make sure you know where you're going to get registered, which is super, super cool. And I think and they have the right personality for it. It's going to be super fun for them.
It's going to be great.
A bunch of, golf and gear sponsorships. There is for whatever reason, no one has sponsored the second place team yet.
Second place ain't bad.
Yeah, I mean, like they say, they're the first loser, so I guess nobody really wants to sponsor them. So
we've even got the last place team sponsored.
Exactly.
We just don't have these guys sponsored.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of good sponsors there. If you do go to the website, these are all live links. So if you're curious, what any of these folks do, just click on their logo. It'll take you to their website, so you can learn more about them.
The first place. Scroll it back up there for just 1 second, Christian. Tech Connect and the 360 Power Quality down there on the bottom. First, they are giving away some really cool prizes for first.
Are they? Nice.
So bring your A game, people.
Yeah, we talk about all these different activities and sponsorship. There's still a competitive nature to this thing, and
absolutely.
That's not lost on the teams either. So it's nice to be able to have both those things.
Yeah, but that being said, there's a pretty good handful of teams who are super competitive, and there's as big or bigger of a handful of folks are just there to have fun and challenge themselves, not necessarily look to win. So, Mitch, do you remember what the winning score was last year?
It's something ridiculous.
It was like 27 or something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, 27 under sounds about right.
Yeah.
You get 3 or 4 good golfer buddies, and that's hard to beat. But
by the time you buy some mulligans, you get 10 free strokes, and
regardless of all that, it's
always some ridiculously low scores.
No, you want to.
Yeah. And then obviously we talked about the helicopter golf ball drop. Come to right here. You can purchase golf balls by clicking this link right here on this button. If you want to learn about the sponsors that we talk, or the beneficiaries of this that we talked about, click these links right here. Learn more about those organizations. Yeah, winner gets $1,000, which is pretty darn cool. So I'm super excited about that. Like we talked about before as well. Every hole is spoken for, sold out. And that being said, I still have a hole here, a hole on hole 12. Did that one get snatched up?
That one did not get taken yet. That one was kind of a little last minute vacancy. A company had something come up, so this just came available last week. So if you want to be out there on the golf course and you want to sponsor a hole, and that's hole 12's got lots of shade. It's a great.
Is that a good shade?
We've had a little bit of interest in that, but I remember somebody saying, "Hey, we'd like to sponsor that, but can we also have a team?" And just because we're full, but look, that's an opportunity. If Sean and I were talking about this just yesterday, want to know where the best place is to position yourself on this tournament for this event, it's right there.
Yeah,
it's being one of the whole sponsors, because everybody goes through you. And you literally have everybody at the event, they have to go through and shake your hand and take your card or grab some of your swagger, whatever it is. And so,
and guess what? If you're a sponsor, then you're first on the list next year to get in.
That's right.
You're one of the 20 companies on the waiting list, and you're like, gosh, we really want to get in the BOMA tournament and play. Sponsor this year.
This is a good way to do that.
Next year, you'll be the first on the list. Yep.
Yeah, then you're in the queue. You're on the list, right? So,
absolutely.
What about, Jana, let's say somebody is interested in sponsoring, but maybe because of the time frame or staffing and whatnot, they don't really have a team that, a crew that could come and have a presence there, but they still wanted to be available. What about gimmies?
We have a lot of, we have a few sponsors that just have their signs on the holes. They're gimme sponsorships. They're close enough to just gimme a shot. So those are a passive sponsorship. It's $350. Get your sign on there. And these
I think we got
sponsors.
5 or 6 of those, but there's still a little bit of space there. So, you know, if you wanted to have your name there and have your presence there and your logo still available,
Good.
if you didn't have a staff to go and run the event for whatever reason, and there's several companies that have done that every single year, and I think they're finding value from it. And so,
these green sponsorships. That's a sign.
Oh, there we go.
You know, just next to the green. That's a good way to go. You know, if you want, jumping on the lunch, wouldn't necessarily have to be there for that. You can come in the morning, drop off a logoed up banner or a banner stand or whatever, and we'll make sure that stuff's up. You know, so everybody sees your logo as they get lunch. You know, the second place team prize, you wouldn't have to be there for that. I mean, you can, you know, get as crazy as you want with that prize. Put it in a, you know, if you're a janitorial company, put it in a get a bunch of prize stuff, put it in a garbage can. You know, with your logo on it, you don't have to be there for that. I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, easy ways to do that. Have your logo out there, you know, like Mitch said, have that presence, but not have to, you know, spend the time to be out there.
Right. And that's everybody. I mean, you know, the companies that are going to be on those holes and doing the contests and everything else, those folks, this is, you know, they put it on their calendar and they make time for the staff to take the time off to do it. Not everybody can do that. And we totally get it. If you don't have the staff to be able to go out there and sit on a hole all day long, we completely understand that. So we
gotcha.
You know, those other things. Yeah, we got you. We've got
you. Hey, Christian, scroll down a little bit more. My favorite photo. Keep going.
Those with the photos.
Is right there. That's a man in his TV on the upper right.
Yeah.
Jeremy was very excited.
Years ago. I love that photo of Jeremy and Shiloh in the background.
Yeah.
I love that picture.
Yeah.
That's great.
They had a lot of fun that day.
Yeah. You know, the idea is, you know, even if you have a bad round or maybe you're not playing it, just networking or participating, there's a chance you're going to walk away with something nice, you know. So,
okay, let's talk about before we end this, because I know we're limited on time here, but I did want to talk about the whole contest. So there is a contest for each of the whole sponsors. So bring your best effort. I mean, there's some cool pictures on there of things that people did and brought out to their holes with themes and furniture and I mean, all kinds of stuff. But the other thing we did want on Mitch with his broken foot, you know, there in that picture. One other thing is the golf tournament proceeds. We use scholarship money to send our BOMA members to conferences and educational opportunities. So we have the BOMA conference, we have the winter business meeting, we have the BOMA medical conference that happens. So January, May, and then in the summertime, we have 3 conferences, and we try to budget enough money to send people these conferences so that they can further their careers, get the education they need to get, develop personally and professionally. So this tournament has always been about that, right? The proceeds from this go into the education budget, and they do brown bag lunches or building tours or whatever, and then those conferences that people get to go to. So that is something that I did want to mention before we go, just so that some people ask, like, where does the money go? Well, this is where it goes.
Yeah, goes back to the members. Yep. That's cool. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, like Jen said, we're kind of up against time here. So thanks everybody for watching. We hope to see you at the golf tournament. If you do still want to sponsor, you know, like we talked about, you know, if there's nothing available shown here, call any of us, call Jana, and we will, you know, get creative together and find something fun for you to do to get involved. So thanks everybody.
Awesome,
looking
guys.
forward to talking to you again soon.
See you guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody. We'll see you.
You bet.